Your ego is getting in the way of your ability to get your ex back because you can't see clearly what needs to be done. And your ego is making you think that you need to do different things. Here's how. It's hard to process the idea that your special person, your little baby or whatever, could feasibly want someone else, could hook up with somebody else, could like somebody else better than you, etc. And most of the time, what you're going to do is think, well, the way I'm feeling, if I just demonstrate that hard enough and I show devotion and consideration on these things, that, people project that onto their ex and they think, well, it must be well received. If I'm feeling it so hard, I just need to sort of like demonstrate that. And then, of course, they're going to be feeling what I'm feeling. That projection is a mechanism of the ego as well. Now, here's where it gets tricky. You start to write them letters. You start to appeal to sentiment. You start to do all these things that don't actually work in the realm of attraction. And the ego is the thing that makes you think that you're special and somehow your connection will be sufficient in order to get that person to stay. But if it was, they wouldn't have left to begin with, right? And so what's really happening in a breakup is that person is saying, hey, look, the prospect of staying together is worse than the prospect of me being single and potentially going to find a new partner, which is what people do oftentimes once they break up, okay? And so your ego is trying to shield you from the fact that they would even consider going and finding a new partner. And I get a lot of people on calls, and they're like, yeah, no, I don't really think that she would date somebody new, man. Like she's just not like that, bro. And so rather than to embrace the dog-eat-dog nature of the competitive dating world, people sort of rest on their laurels about their significance to their partner, and they sort of want to use that as the appeal to pull their person back in. It doesn't work. So as best you can, take your ego out of the situation. I mean, sometimes you need it, right? Like if you have to cope with the idea of your ex having a rebound, it's better to tell yourself that you're much better than the new person and all this stuff. There's some mental acrobatics you have to do to be able to cope with these hard situations. But at the end of the day, you have to think strategically. You can't afford to sort of take stock in things that don't actually work from an attraction perspective. You need to sort of like embrace the ugly nature of the dating world. Rewind back into your single 20s where it matters, what clothes that you're wearing and how in shape you are and how hard your attention is to get as far as the other person is concerned. The quicker you can embrace this, the quicker you will get your ex back. And if you want my help, DM me the word magnet.